Well, I'd like to welcome everybody here tonight. My name is Joe Seen. I'm the president and CEO of the Glendora Chamber of Commerce, and I'd like to welcome you to this evening's 2022 Glendora State of the Schools presentation. This live webinar features the extremely talented and dedicated leadership of our educational system here in Glendora. This evening, you're going to hear from Dr. Penelope DeLeon, Superintendent of Glendora Unified School District. Then you're going to hear from Dr. Jeffrey Jordan, Superintendent of Charter Oak Unified School District. And then you'll hear from Dr. Greg Schulz, the Superintendent President of Citrus College. Then after that, we'll open it up to Q&A, and I'll go over the details on how to do that momentarily. Take this off. This evening's presentation is brought to you by the Glendora Chamber of Commerce, in partnership with our President Circle members and our presenting sponsor, Athens Services. The partnership and dedication of these and many other companies that make up the chamber make it possible for us to do presentations like this and the many other services the chamber has to offer. So if you want to get more information on what we do and for this community of Glendora, visit glendorachamber.org or just give us a call. So before we get started, I just want to let you know this is being recorded. I'm sure you all got a warning when you came in, because we will post this presentation afterwards on the Chamber's YouTube page and on the Glendora State of the Schools website, so you can review it. And because I know there's a lot of people that said they were in other meetings or other events tonight, they wanted to view it. So we'll have it ready for them when we're finished. So with that said, I'm going to change some screens here, and let me remove some spotlights here so we can have our first speaker tonight. First up, we have Dr. Penelope DeLeon. As a public school educator for more than 28 years, Dr. DeLeon has had several positions in her career: high school teacher, assistant principal, secondary instructional specialist, director, and as of just over a year ago, almost 2 years now, the Glendora Unified Superintendent. So with that, I would like to welcome you, Dr. DeLeon. I'll share the screen for you for your
Thank you.
Slides, and it is all yours.
Thank you, Joe. I really appreciate you and the Chamber sponsoring this event tonight. This is a wonderful opportunity for us to share the successes of our students and wonderful school districts. Next. First, I'd like to recognize the outstanding trustees of the Board of Education for Glendora Unified School District, starting with President Robin Merkley, Vice President Elizabeth Reuter, Clerk Rakshan Fernando, Member Zandra Borg, and our final member, Corey Ellenson. Next. More appreciation. We can never be too thankful for just being able to be here today and being blessed. So I'd like to thank the Glendora community. I've never seen a community who comes together to support their schools more than Glendora. So thank you for all of your support. Our incredible GUSD employees, almost 700 of them. Thank you for everything you do every day. I'd like to thank our parents, our PTA councils and site PTAs. They put in countless hours towards our schools each year. It's amazing to see the work they do. I'd like to thank our partners at the City of Glendora. We have been able to forge a great partnership over the years, and I really appreciate everything that they do to support our schools every day. Thank you. I'd like to thank Mr. Sina and the Chamber of Commerce, who sponsors many wonderful events throughout the year and events for our schools. Thank you. I cannot forget the Glendora Education Foundation, who does so much to raise money to support our schools and make sure that every single student has an experience that just is above and beyond anything you can imagine. So thank you, Glendora Education Foundation. And then, of course, all of our philanthropic organizations who support our schools, donate to our schools. There are so many service organizations and philanthropic groups in Glendora. We have scholarships from so many all of the time. In fact, Senior Awards is coming up. And I just want to thank all of you in advance. Groups like Kiwanis, Kiwanians, Rotary, Sir Optimist, Shoes That Fit. I mean, there are just so many groups out there that support us. The Glendora Community Coordinating Council. Thank you to everyone for all you do for our schools every day. Thank you. Next. These are our schools. We're so proud of our 5 elementary schools: Cullen, Lefetra, Sellers, Stanton, and Sutherland. Next. And of course, I forgot to say, our Williams Preschool, and our Tiny Tartans and our Sprouts preschool programs. Here are our middle schools: Goddard and Sandburg. Our high schools: Glendora High School and Whitcomb. Our alternative programs, GOAL, which stands for Glendora Online Academy of Learning. They're just completing really just now, a year and a half, 2 years of being in existence. We're so proud of them. And also our wonderful adult education program. Thank you. Next. So I thought I would review our current demographics. The state of California just pulled this data and published it a couple weeks ago. So I thought I would share that with the community. I know it's always of great interest. In green are our numbers from last year. Black is this year. So as you can see, this year our total population of 6,671 is a significant decrease in enrollment from the previous year. Glendora is one of about 67% of the schools in the state of California who are in declining enrollment for many reasons. But besides cost of living, the pandemic, many schools are in this place. You can see on the next bullet a significant change for Glendora Unified School District. We have had a tremendous increase in the percentage of families that qualify for free and reduced lunch, meaning that they are below the federal poverty line. We went going from 28.7% to 42.5%. We believe much of this has to do with folks who lost jobs during the pandemic, skyrocketing cost of living. You're seeing people move to places where housing is more affordable and those kinds of things. And so we're seeing a huge increase. This is a big number for us. Our students with disabilities, we're at 16.4%, which is pretty high. Most districts run around 10 to 11%. And then you can go down and see all the rest of the numbers. A slight increase this year in our homeless youth, and also our foster youth has doubled. Those are our ethnic demographics for Glendora. Next. So now I just want to briefly review with you our district overarching goals. These are the goals that drive our work. Under each goal are multiple initiatives within the district. And we work very hard. This is like our district Bible. We work very hard to achieve these goals and report on these goals, one goal or another, or sometimes multiple goals at our board meetings, every single board meeting under staff reports. And everything we do, we align back to these goals. I'll just briefly review some of the successes and things we've done since the last time we met. So our first goal in Glendora, and these are also our LCAP goals. So many of you participate on our LCAP committee and our stakeholder committees. And we want to thank you for that. These are the same goals. So the first one is student achievement through college and career readiness. One thing we focused on as a priority is expanding our CTE pathways. And this year we have aligned to Citrus College and have partnered with them on some dual enrollment, and also our summer connection program, where we have students that are taking courses that are duly enrolled or articulated with Citrus College. So we're really proud of that program. Also, we are in the process of partnering with a animatronics company called Garner Holt Productions. It's been such a popular conversation once we first announced it that we think we're going to try to have an actual mobile lab that goes to all of the schools. For those of you who are not familiar with Garner Holt Productions, they do all of the animatronics for Disney. You see them in museums. Whenever you see an animated character moving, that's Garner Holt. They also have partnered with school districts to do prosthetics through a biomedical pathway. And so we are interested in all those various pathways that they sponsor. So looking forward to having hopefully a mobile, I don't know if it's going to be a bus or a trailer that's going to be pulled with an actual animatronics lab. So really exciting things. And then also we've done a lot of work to provide CTE programs that are after school and also summer programs that we pilot to see what the interest is and hopefully to expand them during the fall. So, and then our second big priority under this goal, which is our #1 goal, is to provide multi-tiered systems of support. We know that students had some learning loss over the pandemic, but more importantly, our students, came back to us needing more support socio-emotionally. And so we have done a lot to try to put supports in place for our students. So academically, in terms of academic interventions, we have begun implemented a STAR testing and benchmarking formative assessment program to be able to diagnose students, see where they are, and put interventionists in place at all of our sites to be able to then help students academically once we know where they are with their benchmarking. We've also had many thanks to our wonderful Executive Director of Student and Family Support Services, Eric Osborne. He put on our first ever Young Scholar Expo for our homeless and foster youth in partnership with the city and many different organizations in our community, philanthropic organizations. It was a huge success, and students were able to get not just supplies they need, but also assistance going to college. It was huge. We've also opened our Family Resource Center for families because, as you remember, our poverty level is higher and more families need us. And we thank all of the community organizations who've donated to that resource center. It's at Williams. So we're really proud of that center as well. And then another thing we've done is we are in the process of piloting paper education, which, similar to tutor.com at the high school, is an online tutoring program that is after schools, in the evenings, weekends. It's pretty much 24 hours a day, that it goes all the way to the elementary level, and teachers can put lessons in there and tutors will help students with those lessons. Any parent can go on with even younger children and ask questions to be able to assist their students with their homework. So those are some of the things we've done under that first goal. So next. Our second goal, safe and healthy 21st century learning environments. So a couple really important things. As I mentioned, socio-emotional supports have been needed, really needed coming out of the pandemic. So in Glendora, we invested in hiring student support specialists who are mental health specialists for every single site to be there to assist our counselors and assist our students with all the supports they need. So far to date, our student support specialists have logged over 15,000 individual visits with our students to support them with their mental health and their social emotional wellness. So really proud of those folks and all the work that they're doing. And then also we worked this year to update our district safety plans, and many thanks to the Glendora Police Department, the GPD, and the fire department came over and helped review our plans and help us make sure that all of our campuses are safe, and gave us ideas about pathways of exit and all of those kinds of things in case of emergency. So we're very thankful for that. Next. Community engagement and collaboration. Well, as you know, most districts put a lot of communication pieces in place during the pandemic. And one thing that we added this year to all of those pieces we put in last year, like our weekly parent newsletter, our staff snapshots, all which were new things that we did beginning with the pandemic. But this year we added to it by adding an online parent communication platform called Parent Square. And the great thing about Parent Square is that it translates messages to our parents in a multitude of languages. And then if the parent types back in or speaks back in a language other than English, it'll translate it back for the district so we know what they've asked. Really great support. We're really thrilled with that. And also, we've had multiple opportunities for stakeholder input. I want to thank everybody who has come to be part of that input. Multiple LCAP stakeholder sessions. One way that I increase stakeholder input is I go out to the sites several times a year. I bring lunch and I sit in the staff lounge for all of our certificated and classified employees and administrators to come and be able to ask questions and give us input, express concerns. We take compliments too, but this is a really good opportunity for our staff, and I think it's been working well so far. So proud of that. And then also, we have brought the wonderful, distinguished Dr. Judy White, the retired superintendent of schools for the Riverside County of Education, to our district to do a community listening tour where there are no administrators or staff there. Just you can come in a very confidential way and give your input to Dr. White, and she compiles that and gives that back to the board and to me. And she will be presenting her findings at our June board meeting and giving us some recommendations about how to move forward. So really excited about the work that Dr. White does. Again, those are completely confidential, anonymous. None of us are there. Nobody's there. So except for Dr. White, and nobody gives their names. They just give her input and she compiles that. So we're very appreciative for her. Next. This is our last goal, our final goal, one of the most challenging. This is fiscal solvency. I know that anybody who's heard me speak, and I mentioned it earlier, declining enrollment has a huge impact on our ability to continue to operate programs in our district. Currently, we have a $78 million budget. What school districts like Glendora and Charter Oak and others need is more money that goes into our base funding. So we've done a lot of work to advocate with legislators around this piece, because with declining enrollment, you very quickly have more expenditure than you do revenue, and you end up operating in a deficit. But unfortunately, the way the money comes from the state is mostly one-time money. Like, people hear a lot about, oh, districts got millions of dollars in COVID money. COVID monies have a sunset, and next year, or I'm sorry, in the fall, and they're one-time monies, and they went from everything for increased custodians to supplies to PPE. And I can tell you that Glendora Unified is pretty much out of their COVID monies at this point, and it's one-time money. It doesn't continue on. So we are asking for more money to go into the base. And the reason I'm spending some time on this is that so that the public is aware of some of the upcoming mandates as well, and how that impacts Glendora Unified. So beginning in the fall of 2025, there is a new mandate that every single 4-year-old will be afforded a spot in TK. And we're really, really excited about that. That is thrilling for us. The earlier we get students in our schools, the better. All of the research shows that students do better reading the earlier we have them. The problem is that the way the law is that, and I mentioned this at the Chamber Ledge Action Committee, the way the law is written, you've got to have teeny tiny toilets in every one of your TK classrooms, which are a fortune. And the funding is just not there for it at this point. And a district like Glendora has a relatively, well, a mid-range poverty level, and the money is allocated in phases based on highest poverty to lowest poverty. And so we're very, very concerned that we will not get the funding for our TK classrooms to renovate, put the toilets in, the bathrooms in time for fall 2025. So really pushing on the legislature for that. And also our board supported a resolution to support SB 830 from Senator Portantino, which changes the funding to enrollment based versus ADA, because whether the kids come to school or they're sick or maybe, out for whatever reason, the classrooms still have to operate. The teachers are still there. Our staff, our wonderful support staff, they're all still there. So anything they can do to help us have more money in the base, we've been really pushing on that. So we're very, very hopeful. There are many, we're hearing about some good news coming from the May revise. So we're crossing our fingers. Another thing we've done in Glendora to help with the declining enrollment and the upside down issue that's caused by declining enrollment is to explore and secure grant funding. This year, we've secured 1.7, almost $1.8 million in grants. Really proud of my staff. They write for grants constantly. It's just become the culture that we've got to try for every dollar we can get. Also, we are working on ensuring facilities maintenance and improvements. We've done a lot of improvements at our sites. Also working on improving our fields and our athletic facilities. And we were really excited to collaborate with the city to do a facilities MOU this year, to update our previous MOU and to sign that this year. So that was really great for us. And we've had a lot of support from the city in doing that. So thank you. And then, as I said, we really are, one of our big initiatives is to address long-term declining enrollment. That happens through by using attrition. So as people leave, as people retire and go and leave the district, trying to be disciplined about not replacing them, because we need to reduce our staff with the numbers of kids that have been reduced. But there's another side of declining enrollment. That's innovative programming to try to bring people back to the district. I mentioned Garter Holt. We're also in the process of partnering with Ontario and LAX airports to potentially bring a pilot aviation program to Glendora. And we also our Ed Services team just did a visit to Anaheim to visit dual immersion classrooms, and with the hopes of beginning a dual language immersion program here in Glendora. We're looking at a few different languages, and we've had a lot of input from the community. They'd like to see maybe Mandarin or another language. So we're really excited about that as well. Next. Looking forward, here are a few important dates for our community. Glendora High School graduation is June 8th at Citrus College. Thank you, Dr. Schulz. Go Tardans. Whitcomb High School graduation is June 7th at the HA PAC. Go Wildcats. We have 2 summer school sessions for K-8 and 2 sessions for high school. And the dates are there. And of course, we'll make these slides available for you after this, but we will have a comprehensive summer school session again this year. And many thanks to GEF for supporting some of our innovative summer enrichment programs. So excited about that. And then the first day of school, August 17th, 2022. Next. And that is it. I want to thank all of you for all of your support of our schools. We know our schools are a priority in our community, and we thank you for that and for your interest and involvement, participation in our schools. And my contact information is there, and feel free to call me or email me at any time. Thank you so much. Thank you, Joe.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Dr. DeLeon, for the presentation. We appreciate your time this evening, and we'll bring you back on and we'll just do the Q&A once we bring up Dr. Jordan and Dr. Schulz. Okay. You get yours. Okay. And while he's sharing his screen, I'll do a brief introduction and I'll turn it over to you. Dr. Jordan is the superintendent of Charter Oak Unified School District. In December of 2019, he joined the district and he's brought over 30 years of K-12 experience and leadership in establishing collaborative working in environments and working with staff and just bringing people together, making a great organization, which since he's taken over the helm at Charter Oak, he's done that. I've worked a lot with him since then, and he's doing a great job. So with that, welcome, Dr. Jordan, and the screen is yours.
Great. Thank you, Joe. Thank you for the kind introduction. Good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure to be able to present some of the great things that have happened this past year in Charter Oak Unified. I also want to start out just by thanking the Chamber as well as the City of Glendora just for the support that they have for our schools and our school district, and as well as the school district in Glendora. So thank you to all of them. I start out with this first slide because I always like to remind everyone, including myself, why we exist as schools. And it's because of kids. And the decisions that we need to make on a regular basis should always have the best interest for kids. Because if it's not going to impact them in a positive way, we really should have further conversation about other ways to do business. So just a little bit about Charter Oak Unified. Kind of like what you saw with Glendora, our district is a little bit smaller, a little bit over 4,500 students. You can see we are about 53% socially economically disadvantaged with about 8% learners. You can see our population demographics, about 2.5% African-American, 71% Hispanic, for just 5% Asian and 15% Caucasian. What I'm really proud of is the work at all of our schools. We start you in preschool, where we have two amazing preschool programs. One over on the Sunflower campus in Glendora, our Charter Oak Children's Center. And then the second program, our LEAP program, which is on our Cedar Grove campus in Covina. And our LEAP program is a really special program where in our preschool, we have a blended of our general education preschool students with our students with special needs. And it's just a phenomenal program. Both are phenomenal programs. And if you're interested in getting your students enrolled in that, please reach out to our district and we'll be happy to do so. We do have 5 elementary schools. You can see that we've got 2 of our schools in the southern end of Covina. We've got the 2 schools up in Glendora, Washington, and Willow. And then we've got our school in the middle, which is Cedar Grove Elementary. We do have 1 middle school, Royal Oak Middle School, and we have 1 comprehensive high school at Charter Oak High School. Really proud of our alternative school, Sunflower, which is located in Glendora. We actually run 3 programs, 3 schools simultaneously in 1 location. We have our Bridges program, we have our Arrow High School, and we run our Oak Knoll Virtual Academy. And what I'm really pleased with in all 3 programs is that they provide specific services to students that need an alternative setting. And I'm really confident that if your student's in that position, one of those 3 programs will work. The other thing that I'm proud of is during the pandemic, when literally everything got shut down, we were in a really good spot. Our Oak Knoll Virtual Academy has been in existence now for 9 years. And we were able to enroll families into that program through homeschool programs, families that wanted to make sure that maybe their kids got schooling from home. And we did not have to recreate anything. We did not have to add additional resources. We were able to put them right in the Oak Knoll Virtual Academy. And then the last program that we have is our adult education program. And that's a phenomenal program as well. Over the course of a year, this last year, we will have worked with 1,800 adults in our adult ed program and prepare them for just developing further skills or creating certificates so that they are eligible in the workforce. So when you come to Charter Oak, we can start you at the age of 3, and we can work with you until whatever age you want to stop learning. So I'm real proud of that. You can see that we employ about 265 certificated credentialed employees and about 344 of our classified and support employees. Here's our Board of Education. We are a 5-board member. You can see that our president is Mrs. Jeanette Flores. Our vice president is Dr. Christian Aguilar. And then the 3 members of the board, Mrs. Kristen McGuire, Mr. Greg Peterson, and Mr. David Rose. And if you notice to the right of each of their titles, we've added something new. We've gone through the last year and a half, the process working with the county on moving into trustee areas. Everything has now been approved, and we have now filed with the LA County Registrar's Office. So the way that the mapping now works is Mrs. Flores will represent Area 3, Trustee Area 3, Dr. Aguilar is Trustee Area 5, and then you can see so on, Mrs. McGuire in Area 2, Mr. Peterson Area 4, and Mr. Rose in Area 1. Those maps are on our website, and once we get confirmation from the Registrar's Office and we prepare for the November election, we'll be pushing that out more in detail to all of our families. I need to also take a moment just to say thank you to our incredible staff. The work that they've done the last couple of years under the conditions that we've been faced has just been phenomenal. The extra above and beyond work to really make a difference to support students. That caring attitude, I can't ask for anything more than what I've observed, and knowing that they're excited about continuing to move forward to support kids. Also, just our parents, our community, all the other supports, also City of Glendora. We also want to thank our Charter Oak Education Foundation. We've got a phenomenal PTA. We have a variety of civics groups that come in and help and support us, as well as we have an amazing scholarship foundation that gives out over $50,000 in scholarships to our students each year. And they have been doing this for over 30 years. So they are just a great support. So a little bit of our foundation of who we are, and in addition to looking at ways that we support kids, we developed this when I first came in, and this was, as I've shared before, this was through a pretty intense listening campaign of sitting with community members, staff, employees, and a variety of people in our community. And what we did was we decided to prioritize 5 key areas. And these 5 key areas were adopted by our board. And this is how we make our additional decisions and the work that we actually do annually. And it's the focus in college and career readiness. It's the focus on communicating and collaborating to strengthen our relationships. What are we doing as an organization to develop leadership at all levels? What also are we doing to make sure that we're providing safety and wellness for all of our students and our staff? And then to do all of this, we have to have top-notch facilities, and we must be fiscally responsible. So what I'd like to do is take a moment in each of those areas just to give a quick update this past year of some of the things that we've done and kind of the direction that we're going. First of all, in the area of college and career readiness, this is really passionate for. This is the heart of our district right now in terms of what are the things that we are doing to make sure that by the time a student leaves Charter Oak Unified, they have received the necessary skills and the ability to be prepared to go on to college or to be prepared to go into the workforce. And so one of the things that we've put a lot of finance into and a lot of intentionality is, how are we able to remove the digital divide so that all of our students have access to all resources, no matter what part of the community you live in? And so we've been very intentional on making sure that every one of our students have a Chromebook that they can take home every evening. And for those students who need internet access, we also have hotspots for them as well. In addition to that, as we come back in August, In addition to the individual Chromebooks, every K-6 classroom next year will also have a Chromebook cart in that classroom. And then we will support that and then do a refresh program every 3 years. And then after the first 3 years, we will also put a Chromebook cart in every 7 through 12 classroom and keep rotating that. We also know that in order to make sure that you're guided correctly, in addition to the great work that's being done by our teachers on the teaching and learning aspect, we also for next year are increasing counseling at all levels so that we can have not only the emotional support for kids, but also the academic support for kids. We also know that high academic success is based on people. The people that we're able to put on our campuses who have a direct impact with students, that's what makes a difference. So as we move forward, we continue to train our adults who are in the classroom, working at the schools with our kids in a variety of areas. The other thing that we're committed to as we move forward is that very intentionally, we are going to add at each of our elementary schools an intervention specialist, which puts another adult on campus to be there as another layer to support kids. This year, we were able to put up to 6 instructional aides on each elementary campus so that we were able to have them go in and assist students and their teachers throughout the day. And we're going to continue that for next year. We've also made a commitment that we're continuing in the next year is how are we able at the elementary schools to be able to have a commitment to small classroom sizes. And one of the things that we were able to do this year, and we've committed to next year again, is that we will not have any combination classes in our elementary schools. And we believe that all of these supports, along with the great teaching that goes on and the support that goes on for kids, this puts everyone in the right direction to make sure that they're ready to be college and career ready. In our second area, in regards to communication and collaboration, we really are trying to create, and I think we're making that progress on really being collaborative with each other as colleagues, being collaborative from school to school, being collaborative with our community. And what I'm excited about is now that we are coming out of the pandemic and we're able to do more things in person, my expectation is for next year is to be even more collaborative and invite our community into our schools a little bit more and be able to interact with myself so that we can keep seeking more ideas to keep moving forward, to keep improving, the work that we're trying to do. We really want to work on relationships. That's one of the main things and we've done that not only as adults, but also establishing those relationships with kids. One of the things we told all of our staff members when we started up this year is that we realized that we just come out of the pandemic. We realized that we were doing hybrid and Zoom school, and we're excited about getting back with kids. But we needed to remind ourselves before we jumped in to start talking about how to catch up kids in math and English and social science and science, let's first start with building that relationship and making sure that kids feel comfortable when they come on our campus, when they come into our classrooms. For some, kids have not been on a school campus for 2 years. And for some, it's the first time as they enter second grade that they've ever been actually in school. And that was really important for us to be able to do that. We also work really hard at trying to make sure that we support all of our employees, give them the resources that they need, be partners with them, because a lot of research shows that when your staff enjoys coming to work every day, they're going to have a huge impact on students and student achievement, and that's our ultimate goal in the end. In the area of leadership development, I think we've made a lot of progress and we've done some good work in this. We are always looking at ways to develop and provide activities and skills that will help our management team go back to their departments or their school sites to be able to grow the leadership amongst their campuses. We also do a lot of different activities with our Board of Education in terms of developing their leadership, in terms of we do workshops by bringing outside people in to work with them, ways that we can improve communication And then also this past year, how we onboarded some of our new members who now are completing their first year so that they were understanding what their role was as a board member and how they can have the most impact, being only one of five, but how they can have an impact on an entire organization. This year, we were actually finally able to start something that I've been wanting to do for 2 years, but now that we were back in person, was to be able to start a superintendent's student advisory council. And we met with them 4 times this year, and we brought every grade in from 5th through 12th. And we were able to meet with them in those 4 settings where we did different things about developing their skill sets so that when they go back and they're working on their campuses, things that they can do to make a difference from student to student. And one thing that I love about doing this is that if you take the time as an adult and you truly listen to what students have to say, it's very powerful. And there's a lot of things that we can learn. And there's going to be certain things that we will implement next year just because these kids brought back ideas that were probably better than any of the adults could ever come up with. And then the other thing that we started this year was some more development for our employees. And we started our leadership seminar this year. And that encompassed, we had 23 certificated and classified members. These are not management people. They're not necessarily people that want to go into education or into administration. But what we were able to do is meet with them about a half a dozen times this year. And we were actually able to do different activities, provide different type of leadership perspectives with the idea that you can use these skills to lead your 3rd grade team or to lead your science team at the high school, or to be, how do you lead the maintenance department, right? How do you problem solve? And it was really successful. And I'm also really proud that we were able to get an outside donor. And we're going to take this group for 2 days down to the USS Iowa. And we're going to do a culminating activity in June with them, where we're going to be bringing some guest speakers in, and we're going to finalize our leadership through a case study through Pearl Harbor and the leadership lessons that were learned or not learned during that time. And just to kind of be clear, no, the USS Iowa was not involved in Pearl Harbor, but the USS Iowa is down in San Pedro, and it's just a nice setting for us to be able to kind of take that experience and give our folks the best opportunity for that. One of the things we put a lot of effort into this year and we're continuing with is our safety and wellness. And, student and staff physical safety is a priority for us. We've done multiple things. I reported last year were the physical things that we've done on our campuses to protect our students and staff, but we've also tried to add multiple teams of support. As Dr. DeLeon had mentioned, one of the biggest things that all of us are concerned about is the social and emotional well-being of our kids and as well as our staff. And so this year we were able to create a director of student services whose lens is equity, access, outreach, and innovation. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. The other thing is we've created an entire mental health team in which we have a program specialist, we've brought in social workers, we've got counselors, and we've got interns. And like Glendora, we have unfortunately had to see a large number of students who need our help. But the nice thing is we have put things in place to be there for them at school and not let these things fester out in the community and potentially have negative effects outside of school. And so we will continue with that and keep expanding that as well. We also created a position this year, a community liaison, and that goes into our community resource center. And one of the things that we wanted to make sure we were doing was partnering with our community, especially those families of need, knowing that there are families out there that need food, they need clothing, they need cribs, they need diapers, they need gift cards, they need gas. We've got families living in hotels, we got families living in their cars. And our community liaison is one of several people who go out and outreach and find services to support families. Unfortunately, we had one of our families had a death of a caregiver this year, and the family was really struggling. And our community liaison and our support team, they actually went to the family's house and helped make arrangements for the services and found other resources to help them move along. And I think that's real powerful because we always think about how do we teach people to read and write, which is extremely important and necessary. But if you've got a student coming to school who's dealing with outside pieces that they can't control, and we don't address that part first, then they're never going to want to engage and learn how to read and write unless if we can take those worries away from them that are going on outside of school. I'm going to wrap up with our financial responsibility and facilities. We operate on about a $60 million budget. I'm real pleased to say that we have created a balanced budget, that we are positive all 3 of our years. Our priority is to make sure that we are staying fiscally positive, that we are able to provide resources to our employees, and more importantly, we're also able each year to be able to provide compensation to our employees because of the hard work and dedication that they give to our district. And especially under these times, that's really important to us. We want to make sure that we're providing that safe, clean, and comfortable environment. We do provide free meals for breakfast and lunch to all of our students. Our board has been exploring the use of surplus property as an opportunity to help stabilize our budget and to be able to fund future projects. And then we're also in the process right now, as we look at cutting into savings, is also potentially adding solar onto our campuses. As we move forward and we go through into the 22-23 year, we do want to continue those strong relationships. We want to continue with that community outreach. We want that support. We want to be fiscally responsible. And for me, I just want our community to have a world-class school district where kids come to school safe, they're treated fairly, they're being well educated, and that when they leave us, they have nothing but opportunity ahead of them. Just want to thank everybody for your time. And again, thank you, Joe, and take care.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Dr. Jordan. There's a lot of great information. And again, we appreciate your time this evening. And I know, I think you mentioned before you had 4 or 5 open houses today. So thank you for adding this to your list. We appreciate it. Okay, next up, I will, let's see. Spotlight. Yes. Okay. Here we go. Next up, we have Dr. Schulz. Since July of 2021, Dr. Greg Schulz has served as a superintendent president of Citrus College. Dr. Schulz arrived at Citrus with more than 21 years of leadership experience in the California Community College system, including more than 5 years president of Fullerton College. So with that, I welcome you, Dr. Schulz, and the floor is yours. I will move out here and there you go.
Thank you, Joe. And let me begin by thanking the City of Glendora and the Glendora Chamber for this wonderful opportunity, and congratulations to Dr. DeLeon and Dr. Jordan for their outstanding leadership and the good work our city school districts are doing to serve our community. So good evening, everyone. My name is Greg Schulz, and I'm proud to serve as the superintendent president at Citrus College. Before I begin, I'd like to acknowledge 2 important members of our Citrus College family who are with us this evening. First, I'm joined by Melissa Itsuki, our Executive Director of Communications and External Relations, and I thank her for her support today and throughout the year. And next, I'd like to recognize Glendora's own Dr. Patricia Rasmussen, who serves on the Citrus Community College District Board of Trustees as a representative of the City of Glendora. So thank you for your leadership and vision, Dr. Rasmussen. This summer, I'll celebrate my 1-year anniversary as superintendent president at Citrus College. And so as you can imagine, the past year has been full of a few firsts. My first Board of Trustees meeting, my first Saluting Our Veterans celebration, my first accreditation site visit at Citrus College, and now my first time presenting here at the Glendora State of the Schools event. I received the invitation to participate a few months ago, and I've been looking forward to this opportunity Not only do I appreciate the opportunity to share a few highlights and updates with you on behalf of Citrus College, but I've been looking forward to hearing about the great things happening in Glendora's award-winning schools and all the good work they do for our students. After all, students are, for all of us, the reason we do what we do. For Citrus College, it's students like Austin Riggs, a Glendora High School graduate who served as president of our Associated Students of Citrus College before transferring to UCLA last fall. Or Leah Amesquita Hartwell, another Glendora High School graduate who is active in student government and the Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society at Citrus College. She also transferred to UCLA last fall. And Aya Rashid Halabi, a Glendora High School graduate who is part of the Alpha Gamma Sigma Honor Society and the STEM Trio program at Citrus College. She is now pursuing a bachelor's degree in mathematics at California State University, Fullerton. These three individuals are products of Glendora's amazing schools and represent just a few of the outstanding students who attend Citrus College each year. In fact, I'd like to share a little bit about our student body. Every year, more than 18,000 students enroll in classes at Citrus College. Of these 18,000 students, 38% are age 19 or younger, 31% are between the ages of 20 and 24, 28% are between the ages of 25 and 49, and 3% are 50 years young or a little older. In addition to being of diverse ages, our students have great ethnic diversity, and we have a wonderfully diverse campus community. The majority of our students, as of this year, 61%, are Hispanic. White non-Hispanic students comprise about 16% of our student body. Our African-American Black students comprise about 3%. Filipino students at Citrus College comprise about 3%, and multi-ethnicity students comprise about 3%. And about 1% of our students identify as Pacific Islander students. Just a few months ago, we were excited to welcome many of these students as they returned to the spring 2022 semester at Citrus College. Many of our students returned to campus for in-person learning, and we were thrilled to see their friendly faces. At the same time, some chose to continue their studies remotely or online this spring, with our online course offerings serving as a viable option for many working adults and parents and many other students during the ongoing pandemic. With more and more students returning to in-person learning and support services, our commitment to providing safe and healthy environment on campus has remained strong. In mid-April, Citrus College aligned its indoor masking policy with the updated indoor mask policy of the County Department of Public Health. As a result, indoor masking is strongly recommended at the college, but no longer required for Citrus College students, campus visitors, and vaccinated employees. Though indoor masking is no longer required, the remainder of the college's COVID-19 safety protocols remain in place, including, for example, a daily self-screening for COVID-19 related symptoms on the college mobile app, a QR code location check-in system using the Citrus mobile app for anyone on campus, and mandatory weekly COVID-19 testing provided at no cost to students and employees. The flexibility, understanding, and adherence to these safety measures that our faculty, staff, and students have demonstrated has helped Citrus College continue to provide access to quality instruction and services. In fact, whatever learning options students chose this semester, whether it be remote or in person, Citrus College has worked to meet their needs. As a result, all student support services have remained accessible to those learning remotely or in person. Much of this has been made possible by the introduction of new technology. As an example, Citrus College admission records, financial aid, counseling, and advisement begin piloting a live chatbot on their websites. During working hours, students can use the chatbot to reach out to staff members or receive help in real time. Another advancement is the new Zendesk help desk system that several of our student services departments will be launching soon. And this customer service software will streamline the online customer service experience at Citrus College. In addition to new technology, Citrus College's Student Services Division has also hosted many events this spring. A record number of local high school representatives participated in this year's High School Counselor Conference in February. This annual event provided them with information, recent highlights, answers to questions, and a glimpse of things on the horizon. Also in February, our financial aid office hosted students and their families to 2 different Cash for College events. These workshops provide assistance to students and parents as they complete their free application for federal student aid, California DREAM Act application, and foster youth applications. A month later, the second annual Men of Color Conference was held on campus. This outstanding event is designed to engage, empower, and elevate our college's young men of color. During the event, students heard from motivational speakers, scholarships were awarded, and interested participants were paired with mentors. These events, which have been outstanding, are just a small fraction of the Student Services Division's great work on campus. The Citrus College Career Transfer Center is currently working on creating a career guide for justice-impacted students, including students who have been incarcerated, detained in centers or jails, or convicted of crimes. Next is our International Student Center and its 96% increase in new student enrollment this spring. With COVID-19 protocols and regulations being lifted as the pandemic has changed, this office has been busier than ever providing support services for Citrus College's current and prospective international students. Our Disabled Student Programs and Services Department has been very busy as well. This important department has been facilitating high school presentations throughout the district. During these presentations, Citrus College representatives share information about the many services that are available and offered to students with disabilities. While it's been a very busy spring, we're expecting an even busier summer and fall. A few of the plans include our Student Services Division's hiring of a mental health supervisor, a creating of a Pride Center to support LGBTQ+ students, and offering 2 sessions of the Summer Bridge program, which assists recent high school graduates in their transition to college. Other plans include our International Student Center promoting Citrus College at virtual fairs hosted in Africa, North America, South America, Asia, Europe, and the Middle East. Our Counseling and Advisement Center updating Citrus College's new student orientation to include videos regarding the 7 career and academic pathways, as well as student stories highlighting various programs. And the new counseling classes debuting over the course of the next few semesters, including a new Success Strategies for Student Parents course being introduced next winter, with several counseling courses designed to support our students with disabilities. As you can see, the COVID-19 pandemic hasn't slowed down Citrus College's Student Services Division. And the same could be said for our Academic Affairs Division. As mentioned earlier, the return to on-campus instruction has been successful. In fact, I'm happy to report that our student retention rates are on par with our pre-pandemic numbers. At the same time, 95% of our science labs have returned to on-campus offerings, and our Visual and Performing Arts Division has already presented multiple on-campus productions. Although Citrus College's return to in-person operations has been incredible, our online education program has continued to thrive. To date, more than 300 faculty completed training to teach online. With their new knowledge, skills, and abilities, combined with our students' expanded skill sets, this has all led to increases in student success and retention. Even more progress will be seen in the online education area in the months ahead. Citrus College is currently evaluating new software to help improve online instruction and increase support to both faculty, staff, and students. The progress in our online education program is just the beginning. Citrus College will also be introducing new curriculum in the months ahead. First, the Introduction to Cloud Computer course that will be offered for the first time in the fall 2022 semester. The college also launched 2 new degrees, an Associate of Science degree in accounting and an Associate of Science degree in business. And there's also 10 new certificates of achievement, 3 for students on the Certified Public Accountant or CPA track, and 7 business certificates in subjects such as marketing, human resources management, and small business management. One particular area of growth has been the Citrus College Real Estate Program. The Real Estate Appraisal Certificate of Achievement enrolled its first cohort of 11 students during the fall 2021 semester. Every student completed their 150 hours of college-level education in that approved subject matter, and most of them completed additional training in professional appraisal practice, federal law, and supervisory trainee appraisal. This spring, the program's enrollment continues to be impressive. In fact, we're expecting this to be a very popular program at the college for years to come. Another popular program is dual enrollment, which enables students to complete college coursework while they are enrolled in high school. More than 1,400 students are enrolled in the program this spring, with 70 different class sections currently being offered at 9 different high schools. We will also be offering 21 dual enrollment courses during the summer and 61 more next fall. Highlights from our dual enrollment program include the new 2-year AGETSI, or Intersegmental General Education Transfer Curriculum, offering at Glendora High School. Now wrapping up its first year, the initiative has been a huge success. Another highlight is the new Associate Degree for Transfer in Administration of Justice program that's been developed for the Monrovia High School dual enrollment program. We look forward to working with our partners at Charter Oak and Glendora Unified School District in the coming months and years ahead. Speaking of highlights, I would love to share a few more exciting developments that have taken place in the Academic Affairs Division. First, Citrus College's athletics program honored 150 student athletes during a fun-filled recognition ceremony in April. Recognized as Scholar Ballers, these student athletes have maintained a GPA of 3.0 or higher. A national initiative that seeks to bridge the gap between education and sports, Scholar Ballers was first introduced at Citrus College during the 2007-2008 academic year. This year's group of honorees is the largest group in Citrus College history. Another highlight was the Automotive and Medium Heavy Diesel Truck Technology Open House that was hosted this spring. Attendees included current and prospective students, alumni, industry partners, and community members. And last but not least, the Citrus Singers will be journeying to Romania and Hungary this June. Academic Affairs has many other great things planned for the future. For example, the Citrus Summer Conservatory, a high school arts bridge program, will take place this summer after a 3-year hiatus. The conservatory will be presenting a new, updated production of The Pirates of Penzance. Another example is the summer program Citrus College will be offering in partnership with the Glendora Unified School District. This Summer Connection program will be providing participating students with support as they apply and register for Citrus College while taking traditional summer school courses taught by Glendora Unified School District teachers at Glendora High School. And finally, Citrus College will pilot its new fast track certificates and degrees this fall. All of this progress, growth, and innovation wouldn't be possible without the enthusiastic collaboration of faculty, staff, and students, a collaboration that was noted during our fall 2021 virtual site visit from representatives of the Accrediting Commission for Community and Junior Colleges, also known as ACCJC. The site visiting team chair, Dr. Sunuta Cook, stated, "The team was very impressed with the involvement of folks across the college in the planning and work of the college, as well as its approach to accreditation. It was very clear that this was a very inclusive process and that this is a very inclusive and collaborative campus." Considering this feedback, it's not surprising that Citrus College received a full vote of confidence from the commission in late January. During its January 2022 meeting, ACCJ voted to reaffirm Citrus College's accreditation for a full 7 years, which is the best possible outcome an institution can receive. This positive outcome was a result of the hard work of many individuals throughout the campus. Examples of this hard work can be found in the area of diversity, equity, and inclusion as well, otherwise known as DEI. Since June of 2020, Citrus College's DEI task force has been diligently reviewing the college's entire framework. Significant progress has been made, and I want to share a few recent highlights with you. One DEI highlight is that Citrus College joined the University of Southern California's Community College Equity Leadership Alliance. As a member, this program offers Citrus College a 3-pronged approach to help administrators, faculty, and staff leaders including work to better address concerns of students and employees of color and to ensure that our institution is welcoming and inclusive. At the same time, Citrus College's Faculty Learning Institute launched a workshop series hosted by Dr. Losana Hotep, focusing on a variety of DEI topics, opportunities, and critical conversations. 2 surveys are being disseminated this semester, which will also help strengthen the learning environment. Focused on topics and themes related to diversity, equity, and inclusion, these surveys are designed to provide a deeper understanding of the student and employee experience at Citrus College. An online race and ethnicity pilot survey was distributed to all students enrolled in credit classes this spring with the help of the college's institutional research planning and effectiveness team. While it was open to all students, some were invited to complete the survey following their participation in another survey, the CSSE or CCSSE survey. This stands for the Community College Survey of Student Engagement, and it's a national survey focused on measuring students' engagement and experiences while attending community college. More than 1,000 students enrolled in approximately 95 on-campus classes this spring were invited to complete this survey, while those enrolled in online classes were invited to complete an online version of the survey. Citrus College has participated in this survey in the past, and the data has proven to be a valuable tool in helping us enhance institutional planning and effectiveness efforts. And speaking of planning, the college recently concluded the first year of its 2021 to 2026 strategic plan. In fact, our institutional research office is in the process of creating the plan's first annual progress report. This report will detail the planning activity and accomplishments that have taken place throughout the past year. If the 2021-26 strategic plan helps Citrus College write its next chapter, the same could be said for our educational and facilities master plan. This comprehensive document provides a roadmap for meeting the college's educational, student support services, technology, and facility needs. The 2020 to 2030 EFMP will continue to position Citrus College as an exceptional institution of higher education. Completion of some of the plan's facilities goals will be made possible by Measure Y, and we are extremely grateful for the support of our community, which made Measure Y possible. And speaking of Measure Y, the planning phase continues. The construction project sequencing has been approved by the Citrus Community College Board of Trustees and Cordoba Corporation this spring. At the same time, the California Environmental Quality Act, or CEQA, compliance process is underway. The process, which involves information gathering, reporting, community involvement, and the filing of conclusions, will take approximately 12 months. Meanwhile, the college is also wrapping up the last project funded by Measure G. Although the ED building modernization project is partially funded by bond funds, another portion of the funding comes from the district's capital outlay fund. The overall project is almost halfway done, with construction progressing nicely. The roof steel supports are complete, and roofing is 80% complete. New HVAC mechanical units have been installed, exterior and interior framing is underway, and other work is in progress. When the Measure G general obligation bond first passed in 2004, no one could have predicted quite how profound its impact would be. That's why it's especially exciting when a second bond measure was approved by our community in November 2020. On behalf of our Board of Trustees and our entire campus community, we thank the community for all of your support. Thanks to the support of our local voters, the Citrus College campus has been transformed. Our academic programs have expanded and student success has increased. For these reasons and more, the college has received several notable recognitions in recent months. One of these recognitions was the Campaign for College Opportunities 2021 Equity Champion of Higher Education Award. This special recognition acknowledges Citrus College's efforts and success in helping Latinx students reach their academic goals. The CALSO also was identified as an Aspen Prize finalist. Out of over 1,000 community colleges and universities, we were categorized in the nation's top 150 community colleges for the Aspen Prize consideration. Awarded every 2 years by the Aspen Institute of College Excellence Program, the $1 million prize is the nation's top recognition of high-achieving community colleges. Our Veterans Program is also a national leader. Not only did Citrus College receive its 12th consecutive military-friendly school designation from Victory Media, it was one of only 282 colleges and universities in the nation to be granted the Gold Award status. And for the first time ever, Military Times, an independent news source for service members and their families, recognized Citrus College as one of the nation's top community colleges for veterans and members of the military. With all of these recognitions, we're grateful. Our true accomplishment as an institution, however, is empowering our students to be successful and to fulfill their dreams and academic and career goals. In a few short weeks, we'll be celebrating all of this at our 106th annual Citrus College commencement ceremony. Held on campus and in person for the first time in 2 years, the ceremony will take place on Saturday, June 18th. One special aspect of this year's ceremony is that graduates from the class of 2020 and 2021 have been invited to participate in this year's ceremony since they didn't have the opportunity to experience a live in-person commencement ceremony due to the pandemic. Nearly 2,600 associate degrees and more than 2,400 certificates will be presented to the class of 2021. Of these, nearly 700 students graduated with honors and 63 were student veterans. Of course, we're certain that the class of 2022 will be just as successful, and I can't wait to share more information as the data comes into focus for this year's class. In short, it's been a great year for Citrus College. If this presentation conveys any one message to you today, I hope it's that Citrus College is better than ever, thanks to the strong support of our community and our outstanding students. We're looking forward to collaborating with you, serving our students, and working together to make our community stronger. Thank you for your time and this wonderful opportunity, and for your continued support of Citrus College.
Thank you very much, Dr. Schulz, for all that wonderful information. I mean, Citrus College just does some amazing things. Really appreciate that.